Hello and welcome to What Does This Data Say? I am Ajay Prakash. Now remember the BJP of the Vajpayee years. It had leaders who could disagree without being crushed, leaders who built their own followings. 2 decades later, many of those stalwarts now silently sit on the backbenches of the same party, subordinates to two men, Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. Now, what happened to their pride? What happened to the men and women who once shaped the party's destiny? Today, we'll talk about that silence, why it exists, why it endures, and what it says about Indian politics. And we also look at a second group of leaders imported from the Congress who thought they will find a new power in the BJP but have ended up as ornaments on the shelf. The Vajpayee era from 1998 to 2004 that was known for coalition politics. The power was shared with allies and with senior BJP colleagues. Cabinet committees debated policy, dissent was acceptable, and Vajpayee was the face, but first among equals. The Modi-Shah era, which started from 2014 and is there till today, has a centralized command, leader-centric electioneering, decision-making narrowed to a few trusted loyalists, party organization, and government resolve around a single duo. They grew up in a party where their experience and voice mattered. Today, it's a one-way street. Look at Murli Manohar Joshi, one of the tallest BJP leaders of the Vajpayee Advani generation, a founder intellectual of the party and Union Human Resource Development Minister in the Vajpayee cabinet. Revered within the RSS as an ideologue scholar, he once shaped education and research policy at the national level. Today, he has almost no organizational role, but his stature still commands respect in the Sangh. In recent months, he has quietly re-emerged as a subtle counter voice, believed by many to be encouraged by sections of the RSS who are uneasy with Modi's centralization. Reports mentioned a closed-door PowerPoint presentation he gave to RSS functionaries, sharply critical of the Modi government's fiscal policies and warning of long-term risks. He also wrote to the president opposing the environmentally risky Uttarakhand Char Dham highway project, a stand that implicitly challenges the Modi-Shah approach to development. These interventions suggest that even after being sidelined, Joshi retains the moral capital to question the present leadership, and that his voice can still unsettle the party's top brass. We talk about Nitin Gadkari, former BJP president who revived the party after 2009 defeat, now praised his work for his work on highways but kept away from party strategy. And then Vasundhara Raje Scindia, a two-time Rajasthan chief minister, once the most influential woman in BJP after Sushma Swaraj, steadily reduced to a regional figure with little say in candidate selection. And the well-known Shivraj Singh Chouhan, longest serving BJP chief minister in Madhya Pradesh after leading the party to victory in 2023, he has been moved to a low-key agriculture portfolio, effectively sidelined. And the good old Ravi Shankar Prasad, former heavyweight law and IT minister, once the party's principal TV face, now a quiet MP with little policy role. And then the late Sushma Swaraj, a stalwart of the Vajpayee Advani generation, arguably the BJP's most popular woman leader. She served as External Affairs Minister in Modi's first term. Despite the prestige of the post, she was kept away from the big ticket foreign initiatives, the summits, the strategic negotiation, the headline grabbing diplomacy. Health concerns limited her travel, but even so, foreign policy became heavily PMO centric, leaving her as a courteous problem solver for citizen consular issues rather than a real architect of strategy. Her decision to step aside in 2019 was graceful but widely seen as symbolic of how even the most respected Vajpayee era leader was marginalized under the new order. These were not lightweights. Each had run states, ministries, or even the party itself. Yet over the last decade, they found themselves doing what they were told or waiting on the sidelines, as if their experience no longer counted. There has been a cultural shock. Vajpayee era cabinet valued collective wisdom, the present one demands compliance. And then there are private murmurs, occasional indirect criticism quickly walked back, and the erosion of dignity. Some veterans privately admit to being treated as clerks, and they have a fear of irrelevance. Public protest would mean instant political exile. Imagine having been a kingmaker, a chief minister, even a national president, and then finding yourself waiting for instructions from leaders who were once junior to you. That's the unspoken discomfort. Remember the big names who crossed over from the Congress? Jyotiraditya Scindia. He helped topple Congress government in Madhya Pradesh. He was rewarded with a civil aviation ministry, but not in BJP's inner core. Jitin Prasada, projected as a Brahmin face in UP, politically has been marginalized. Rita Bahuguna Joshi, former UP Congress chief, almost invisible in BJP today. And the young Jaiveer Shergill, articulate TV spokesperson, rarely in serious party strategy. And then there are many more whom I am not naming in this podcast. There is a stepchild treatment to these importees by the BJP. BJP cadre often distrust them as opportunists. Modi-Shah view them as useful defectors for optics, not as long-term power players. But why don't they return back to the Congress? Because they have burned the bridges with Congress, not fully trusted in BJP, but have no secure home elsewhere. And then again, the fear of political extinction if they cross back. A BJP ticket at least offers them some survival, if not a winnability. The story underlines the point. In today's BJP, it doesn't matter whether you're an old loyalist or a new import. If you're not in sync with the duo at the top, you are in the waiting room. Let's look at the brand Modi factor. BJP's electoral successes revolves around one personality. Challenging him is like challenging the party's future. The party machinery has been captured. RSS and BJP cadres aligned with Modi-Shah. There is no alternative pole of power. And then there are personal stakes. Age, loss of patronage network, security of pensions and perks, no appetite for risky rebellion. And there is really right now no viable opposition. Congress was in the decline, it's getting better, but regional parties offer no national platform. Look at what happened to Priyanka Chaturvedi. The psychology of discipline is not there elsewhere. RSS's own culture frowns on open dissent. Loyalty has become a reflex. Silence is easier than sacrifice, but every silence chips away at the idea of a democratic party. Now, what does this mean for the BJP and Indian politics? Firstly, Death of inner party democracy. BJP has moved from being a debating forum to a command and control structure. One of the clearest signs in is the party's inability or unwillingness to elect a new national president, even though the term of the current leadership has long expired. The constitution of the BJP calls for periodic elections for the top post, but for years the organization has simply extended the tenure. This isn't a small technicality. It signals that the party no longer feels the need to formally renew its leadership. And then the well known weakening of institutions. And then the well known weakening of institutions. Ministries headed by experienced leaders but with little autonomy. Major calls are all taken by the top duo. Policy quality impact has been very heavy. Fewer seasoned voices in real decision making, less course correction, more top down announcement. And what is the signal to voters? The BJP has become a personality driven election machine rather than a collective political platform. A party that cannot even hold its own internal elections on time sends a troubling message about the health of democracy inside the organization. And in the long run, democracies need more than charismatic leaders, they need strong, self confident institutions. The BJP of Vajpayee prided itself on collective leadership. Today's BJP is a power pyramid. The silence of senior leaders, old guard, and imported veterans alike is not just about their personal careers. It mirrors the shrinking space for dissent and dialogue in India's largest political party. But the problem does not stop at the party gate. India's democracy itself is at risk. The spirit of debate and accommodation is being replaced by a new autocratic impulse. It's my way or the highway. Institutions that once balanced executive power are weaker today. Voices that ask hard questions are brushed aside, labeled anti national or obstructive. The flavor of the day is command, not consensus. Look at what's unfolding in Ladakh. The protests over jobs, land, and ecological protection have been met with crackdowns rather than dialogue. A respected activist like Sonam Wangchuk was on a hunger strike asking for constitutional safeguards for his people. Instead of hearing him out, the government has chosen to harden its stand and put him behind bars. This is the danger when a ruling party forgets the habit of listening. A ruling party without debate gives the country fewer choices, fewer ideas, and weaker governance. If that pattern continues, India's hard won democratic tradition will keep shrinking, not by one dramatic blow, but by a thousand small silences. Thank you for watching.